But
Awesome.
yeah, I'm very excited to see today's game.
Me
What are
too.
what are your thoughts so far of just the two teams? And could you talk us through the matchups that they have in the bands?
The two teams. All right. I have not seen much of Hivemind, I must say. They've just been flying under the radar.
Yeah.
Um, with Royals. Royals, I know them really well. They're a very strong team, and they're looking really strong this season.
Awesome. Thank you for your input. Hold on, I need to check if we're still live, for fuck's sakes, don't tell me we died. Don't
Yeah,
die
I think
live!
I heard myself in the background of if the stream's running. Like, could you turn that down or something?
No, I just turned it, I just closed it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Cool. All good.
But I don't know if I'm still. I need to get someone to confirm if we're still live, because. Wait. Just give me two
Let's have a look.
seconds.
I'll open up the stream and have a gaze. Yeah, it's live. It's live.
Awesome. Sorry guys, little technical difficulties at my end, but yeah, looks like Hivemind are picking a very CC heavy team. Whereas it looks like Rose Gaming have, yeah, they've got fairly, I'd say, equal crowd controls. What are your thoughts on the current matchup so far?
Um, I'm feeling that Royals have a very strong team composition. Hivemind, they have some strong picks too. But if I would have to pick one team for the draft, team composition, I would have to give it to Royals. It's
Yeah,
just I always put in favour like the Greystone, the Decker, and the Howie. Just how powerful they are as just
the
individual picks.
the wombo combos.
Oh, it's insane. But Hivemind do have the Bellica, and you know
Oh,
I love seeing myself some Bellica, and she can turn a game really quickly. You know that drone just does work.
yep. Sorry guys, I've actually just misclicked on the actual timer. So I'm gonna have to fast forward a little bit just straight to you, Pav. Can you let me know what your timer is at? This is very awkward.
I'm at 31 seconds at the moment, but I can go back or forward wherever you need me.
All right, cool, cool. So what I'll do is I'll just put it straight on to where they just started. Um, Sorry about this, guys. I didn't expect my finger to be trigger happy.
That's a
Fucking.
production value.
Like, why would you do this, Sozo? Like, one like moment of silence for a fallen Sozo. Alrighty.
If any of you notice my voice is different, I'm actually on my PS4 using the voice from there because that's where Sozo is recording, you know, just PS4 potato.
Potato life. I'm currently at 25 seconds now.
Alright,
26,
tell me when you're at
27.
31, count me down.
Yeah, 30, 31.
Too easy. Alright, let's get into this.
Awesome.
Alright.
So, Pav, just what are your thoughts on importance of early wards, just at the beginning, dummy wards, etc.?
Alright. Early wards, dummy wards, whatever you want to call them. They just give you like an early line of defense or vision, and they last 90 seconds. They last 90 seconds, so that's a good amount of time. So if if the jungler decides he wants to early gank, and you just got a ward just sitting there, it just spots him out early, and why not? Like, it's a free ward. Run out, drop it down, go back to base, buy your items. It's just a free ward sitting there. Like, vision is everything. Wards win games.
Yeah,
It's
definitely agree.
a great way to spot out just the enemy team. Just knowing you're safe, just knowing you can push up or play aggressive is just such a benefit.
Definitely agree. Remember everyone, hashtag ward saves lives. So what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at Adzi Bacon, and he's in safe lane with his old mate Rampage against CK Pie and Greystone. What do you think of Greystone off lane in general, Pav?
Greystone is very strong pick. His passive allows him to sustain very well in that lane, especially if he has a healer token. A lot of people choosing to run the Madstone now just for that early damage, just in case they, just getting a bit of a scuff.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, his passive is just the armor, the health. It's just such a benefit.
Yeah, and on the flip side, what we have on the off lane of Hivemind is Dripsjala on Gideon, versus Spitera on Grim and Surreal on Decker. What are your thoughts on Gideon as an offlane as opposed to other typical offlaners that you would normally see?
He's okay. I don't like. He's not bad. He's not a bad pick given like the right composition. He's very squishy. He can dish out like a lot of poke and a lot of harassment to the ADC, but if he does manage to get to get CC'd, he can be focused down very quickly. But if he can like use his teleport out, he will be safe.
Yeah,
but
definitely agree.
a lot of the time, he just takes too much damage before he even gets a chance to get away.
Yeah, while we're all talking there, it looks like there's a mini scuffle here in the river buff right now. Looks like Crucis is taking some damage, but just gets out in time there. There is no conversion for a kill right there. Looks like Hivemind are safe, not giving away first blood so far.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a close one. Gideon in offlane has actually taken quite a bit of harass from that Grim. So has Grim.
Yeah.
They've both had a bit of a fight, and they're both deciding just to back out of there. There's no point staying around, giving up for the first blood.
Definitely agree. Now, while we have been talking about the other lanes, mid has played. It's always a crucial. Yourself, Pav, you played mid lane. So, what are your thoughts currently on? I guess both the mid laners and I guess the importance of mid lane.
Both the mid laners, Bellica and Howitzer, very strong picks, very top tier. I love both of them. I probably feel the most comfortable on both those characters. They individually, they can make plays, they deal damage, they're very strong, they provide a lot for the team.
Yeah.
Both have great kits. The mid lane is a very important role. Mid lane's all about controlling the map. And especially like the mid part of the map, like everything connects to mid. So, you've got there's always action going on in mid.
Of course.
Knowing how to control that mid lane and control the pace of the game will benefit a lot for mid laners.
Definitely.
Keeping, I've lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
But the mid lane, it's very much about just controlling the map.
Definitely.
And just controlling the pace of the game.
Agree.
That mid lane can dictate like very much what's going on just by being there.
Yeah, while this is happening, it looks like Royals Gaming has taken both the river buffs and they're looking at doing something. Black buff has been done in their favour. So normally when you have a black buff, you'd hope that someone would convert a kill from that. Would you agree, Pav? Or do you think, what's the purpose of a black buff in general with having that controlled?
Black buff is very strong early. There's been many a time where I have 1v2 with just the black buff, just being able to auto-attack people down and just getting that damage over time. It was just so strong, it just adds so much extra DPS. But whenever I get a black buff, I always look to try and fight.
Yeah.
It's just such a benefit, especially early game.
Yeah, definitely agree. Well, it looks like it's been actually not as action-packed as I would have thought. It looks like both teams are playing quite, I'd say, conservative. Would you agree, Pav?
Sorry, what was that, Thursday?
Do you think that's okay? Do you think that both the teams are playing conservative more than normal, or do you think that they have something up their sleeves and they're just waiting for the right moments to kind of pick it up?
Well, yeah, like it's always good. It's always good just to farm. Early on, if your team's got the lead in farming, then if you continue to farm, you're just going to continually gain that lead. Characters like Greystone, if he can get that early farm, those early levels, it's just going to benefit him later on in the game. Like Howitzer, Bellica, they both do damage, but they're going to do even more damage than they have some cards, where they've got some items. You're able to go back to base, get some items, get some mana, Bellica. But at this moment, it's just good that they're just farming.
Of course.
There's no point giving away any early kills.
Of course. Now, I'm just looking at both ends. It looks like Cyril and Spitera have been harassing or playing aggressive in their lanes, to be honest. They've forced Gideon actually to use his ult, whereas it looks like they've given Hivemind actually have given space for Bacon to actually farm as Sparrow. Late game between Spitera and Sparrow, who do you think is more dangerous, given if they've got the right space to farm?
They're actually both really strong late game, but it really depends how SPT uses this Grim.
Yeah.
If Grim is used to his maximum potential, he can dish out a lot more damage than Sparrow can. That being said, Sparrow, it's a lot easier to dish out the damage with her ultimate. You know, it's pretty hard to miss with her ultimate up.
Definitely agree.
So that's good. Yeah. So
yeah,
they're both very strong. Both very strong. We're just gonna see.
What comes out ultimately.
Who can farm better, who can be funneled into these kills.
Definitely. Not only that, I think it's who can land the most hits. While we're talking, Spitera lands a killing blow on tower. That's tier 1 down for Hivemind. And first blood has just been given.
Also, up on the side, Rampage ended up getting caught out by CK and Monkey, and the Severog, and the Greystone. So he got shot down before he even got a chance to get away.
So that's Rampage as support as well. So do you think that as a support that getting picked up as a first blood, that's okay to recover? Or do you think that if the situation was Bacon who just gave up the first blood there, do you think that that could potentially change the flow of the game?
Being the support, it's alright. Like, you know, you don't want to give away kills, but being the support, it's alright. Like, if it was your ADC, he would have been off the map for about, 25 seconds, 30 seconds. And that's 30 seconds of him not being able to farm or gain levels.
Of course.
But
now, while you're... Yes, of course. It looks like there's a fight breaking off here right in safe lane. Pranithi pulls him out and ults them. All of that's happening. Monkey Chunks lands a killing blow. CK Pie pops his ult there, giving them the position to take and fight. And he gets stunned and lives just wow. But it looks like Azzy won't let him get away with that there. Beautiful last poke there. My gosh. While we're talking about being passive, these guys are going all in.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, a lot of action. That was a great stun there by Belica, just to grab Greystone. And here we have Pranithi, Howitzer going in on the Belica.
Very aggressive.
Just gonna get away. Just not enough damage there.
Definitely, but early game, my gosh. It looks like Pranithi's actually got one knockdown already, so I do believe he might be able to do some sort of damage to them, but not enough to make them fall back and heal. But in saying that, they're... Go for it, sorry, sir.
No, you're right, alright. Yeah, Howitzer, definitely, he just starts coming online once he gets, that first item, especially if it's a meltdown, Howitzer, he's going to come online either way if he has items or not. He's always going to deal damage. That rocket is just so powerful. It's also his ultimate.
Yeah.
You can get it off.
Well, while we're looking at the map here, it looks like it's just gone back into, everyone's gone back to do what they do best, and that's farm. But in saying that there, it looks like Rampage is trying to just play a dancing game with CK Pie potentially. But then it looks like CK Pie is falling it back a little bit. It looks like he does see Adzy Bacon dewarding his walls right there. So he potentially feels like there's a gank happening. But it's interesting with the wards there. They are actually trying to, in my opinion, I think that Royals Gaming is throwing a map control right there. Even though Hivemind have mid wards to view the ganks potentially, do you think that the ward placements, as you see in both sides of the teams, do you think that there's any wards that you think is really good place to put, or the other team might be able to pick up or not pick up?
Well, what Royals Gaming have decided to do, they've decided to put a lot of focus into the vision and control of Raptors, which is a very, very viable strategy, very strong strategy. Those Raptors are so powerful right now, especially with how easy they are to take.
Definitely. And while you were talking there, it looks like Rampage got picked off just from roaming inside to see if the Raptors were getting picked off, and you're definitely right there.
That's another kill given away from that rampage. He needs to stop. He needs to stop worrying about some of these wards and just
Wombo
just
combo happening right now on Azzy. Can Azzy get away with 78 health? No, it looks like Grim would be sealing the deal. That was a science seal delivery. Wombo combo delivered from Royals Gaming to Hivemind with a seal of the kiss, and they're continuing their onslaught, and Grux just gets away. But no, Monkey Chunks literally gave him a "you shall not pass." Do not collect $200 and go straight to spawn. That's two
While
down.
this is happening, we have Gideon pushing in the right tower, the right tier 1.
Definitely.
So that's going to be good. It's going to be. They've got to grab something out of what's happened.
Of course, it's all about the trade-offs.
It's good that Gideon's there.
Now, that's pretty much a trade there. That's a tier 1 for a tier 1, but in favour of Royals, and it looks like they're continuing that onslaught right there. I mean, 2 down. That was then Topher just got dropped. Monkey Chunks on the Sev. He's playing really well today there, from what I see here. That's 4-0. Does Monkey play?
Very strong showing.
Yeah, is Sev his main, or do you think that he plays other mains? But I must say he's really controlling those pickoffs.
I have seen Monkey play a lot of Severog, and I must say he is a very strong Severog.
Definitely agree with you there. Now it looks like this ward wars are still happening, while there might be a potential scuffle in mid.
So what happened? What happened there for Hivemind is they ended up sticking around. Topher ended up sticking around, even though the tower was going down. You know, there was 5 people there. They weren't going to get anything. They weren't going to get anything trying to defend that tower. They should have just backed off. Instead, they gave it away.
It looks like Gideon just missed his ult there. Probably by a good 2 seconds, because it looks like there might be some sort of slight miscommunication between Grux and Gideon, because we just saw Grux kind of just rush in and Gideon blink in, but could not do anything there. How do you think that affects players when they do miss one critical move like an ult or a stun or a pull?
Sometimes it can be very tilting. other times it's just like, yeah, that was completely my fault. I understand what just happened there.
Of course.
I feel like Hivemind actually, they just realised, yeah, that was a bit of a miscommunication.
Of course.
That was completely just our fault, nothing wrong there. I wouldn't be too shooken up about that. It's going to come back, in another minute anyway.
Of course.
Yeah, it's going to be up by the next fight, so it's all G.
Yeah. Now, while you were talking, I've just had a quick look at everyone's CXP. It looks like Spitera, typical Spitera, is up ahead in CXP, and it looks like Bacon has kind of needs to kick in gear with his CXP. He's on 18th at the moment as we speak. Do you think that, given that he's behind, do you think the best strategy is just to keep farming in the team to give him space to farm, or do you think that they should try to risk and go for Raptors to get ahead? How would you play in this situation?
As you were talking, we've got a fight going on mid lane. It's the tower dive. They're just sieging this tower. There's 2 kills been picked up there, 3 kills been picked up there for Royals. Monkey continuing, knocks back to Gideon. Gideon goes to the ult, gets taken out by the R2000. Azzy's going to be the only one up
down! And a tier 1 trade.
Could get a tier 2 here.
Azzy Bacon, if you were in his position, would you fall back, or would you try to fight and defend this tier 2? Oh, CK drops ult. That's a root right there, and it looks like the whole team is down.
And that's an ace. That is an ace, and that's going to be the tier 2. They're going to go for
do you think inhib is a good strategy right now and just end it, given that the cooldown is low, or do you think go straight for OP right now and get that advantage?
I'll just go back and take Raptors on the way back. That's it. So that looks like what they're probably going to be doing. They're just way too low on mana. Greystone doesn't have ult anymore. No mana, low health. It's just not worth it. The enemy team's respawning. So there's no
Definitely.
point of them trying to push that in here. They've already got 2 towers and 5 kills off that. They don't need to push anymore. Plus they're going to get Raptors. So
Yeah.
that is going to shove them straight in the lead. SPT, 27 card power right now, 28, and that's just going to go up from here.
28? No, oh, 29.
He's halfway. He's almost halfway to full build.
At 17 minutes, that is very dangerous to have your ADC up ahead like this. For Hivemind, they need to somehow make some sort of play, some sort of strategy, whether that's turtle or at least pick them off or hit it and quit it style play. But it's really going to be a tough battle for these guys. But as always with MOBAs, all you need is one good fight and it changes the pace of the game.
That's it.
Definitely agree. But in saying that, there it looks like it's a bit of a quiet time here. What are your thoughts on the builds with each of the members so far? Do you think that the builds right now are conventional, slightly different, or what are your thoughts in general about the current builds within the teams? Example, let's just say the supports, carries, etc.
Alright. So supports right now, you know, Surreal on Decker, you know, pretty conventional. You know, you get your Honor the Pure, you got your Quenching Scales. The 2 items you really want for any support, plus the Wars, you know, that's the 3 essential items you need for a support, no matter who you're playing. There we've got Lord Gurney here. He's only got the Quenching Scales because you can't get Honor the Pure on Rampage. You know,
Unfortunately.
So that's the downside there. So hopefully Topher does pick up the Honor the Pure on Bellica. At the moment, he has a Siphon Shard. I do not like that at all on a Bellica. Like, there's just no need for the lifesteal and the health regen. And while I'm talking, we have Bacon getting caught out there on the Sparrow, and he's just going to be taken down by Gravestone.
No. That is quite unfortunate. That puts him further back in terms of farm. While that's happening, it looks like Rampage might be caught off. That was a beautiful route. And Pranethi seals the deal, and Lord Gurney goes down. So that's 2 down. And potentially this could be some sort of play for Royals to do something there. Generally speaking, when 2 people are down on the opposing teams, what do you think is the best advice for people to do in these situations? Do you think it's best to just keep pushing, or just go back to farming, or convert it to a Raptor or all-prime play?
2 people down, especially if it's like the support and the ADC, I would look for an objective. So whether that's going to be another tower, whether you want to look at maybe going for prime, which is, you know, a lot more risky play. Raptors is not up at the moment, so I would look to go for a tower. Even if it's just chipping, even just putting damage down on the tower, you know, getting whatever you can.
While you're talking there, it looks like a fight's breaking out there. Cyril gets stunned. Potentially, it looks like Bacon seals the deal and kills Pranethi. Cyril gets a stun out, but it looks like there's going to be a rumble in the jungle. CKFire loses his ult and is getting swiped away by Rampage. Looks like they're getting low, and Monkey Chunk says no, do not pass. He does a Gandalf right there. You shall not pass.
Yeah. While this is all happening, you know, we've just got Spatera continuing to farm, just continuing to just press that lead and get further on in his build. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with in these fights. He's going to be doing a lot of damage, especially since he's got his crit bonus up already. He's got some crit chance. He's got attack speed. He's going to be dealing a lot of damage.
Yes, and it looks like Adzy's just hit 24-6p there, so I think, in my personal opinion, he needs to start jungling, try to risk some Raptors or something, because it looks like at this point in time, you could probably get some Raptors. I think that this current meta, it is a death bomb meta, but at the same token, Raptors should be easy to take, or prime if you want to play risky. But do you think that it's a high risk, high rewarded strategy that Hivemind should be looking into, or do you think that they should be playing in a total basis, given that it looks like Royals Gaming is trying to just push for map control?
Usually I would be trying to total out the game, but if you look at Royals Gaming, the characters they're playing, you know, they've got several, they've got Greystone, they've got Decker, they're just going to walk right into that tower and kill everyone right on it, especially with that Howitzer Decker combo, Greystone running there. So
Dirty wombo combo.
I would be looking for a very, very high reward play, no matter how risky it would be. Like, even if it's like, you know, they've got to get the vision down. They've got to get vision around Prime. Prime is probably going to be the only way they win this. Unless Royals make a completely very big mistake.
Of course. Now, while that's happening, it looks like they are going to control the Raptors. They're not giving Hivemind any room to breathe here, and that puts Spitero very high up. He's currently on 37, more likely to be 39 unless someone wants to steal that. That is 39 on Spitero. He is going to hurt someone. I just got a feeling that you will see bars drop in 2-3 hits there. But at the same time...
39 CP. That is 39 CP 22 minutes into the game. That is crazy right now.
Yeah, and while this is happening, I kind of feel like I can foresee a fight happening here in left lane anytime now, but no, I could be wrong because it looks like Hivemind are falling back. Given that there's no tower behind them there, do you think it's safe for them just to stand around like this?
Who's this, Royals Gaming?
Hivemind's there on the safe lane, so Absy Bacon.
There is a tower there.
Oh, is there a tower? My bad. Oh, sorry about that. I'm switching cams now, and it looks like Topher is getting stunned by Surreal. He pulls him back and gives him a good slap to the face. Oh my gosh. These guys are in trouble.
I feel like the pressure is on, and comms are starting to go a bit quiet. Topher should not have been there. He should not have been that far pushed up. That was just, especially with like no vision at all.
Of course.
In the river.
I think the rule of thumb is ward saves lives, and that could be open to any interpretations. That if don't roam if you have any wards or wards ward. But it looks like they have warded OP, so they do know that it's going to happen. But it looks like Royals are trying to zone out or at least bait them in. Potentially bait them in, but no, if Spitero is falling back, then it looks like they are going to fall back.
Yeah, I feel like they're sort of, I feel like Royals are sort of struggling to figure out what to do, whether it's going to be push, you know, go for a prime. So they're sort of just farming, you know, just, you know, playing it slow, taking the game at their own pace, which they can do. They have a huge lead. There's no need to rush anything, so, you know, might as well play it safe, then...
Of course. If you could describe, I guess, Royals Gaming's place on a few words, how would you describe it?
Conservative to a point. Yep. Very conservative to a point, but they can switch it on. You know, they definitely can switch it on. I've seen them switch it on, but I feel like sometimes they don't always make the best of decisions.
Of course. Okay. What are your thoughts so far with Hivemind? What do you feel that they need to do to turn this game around, essentially? Besides turning, do you think that they have any chance of maybe picking up Spitero? Do you think Spitero will be out of position, or any of the teams, given that you know Royals Gaming at a, I guess, close, intimate level? Intimate. I'm going to stop saying that word. Intimate with candlelight.
I do feel that Spitero might get a bit too hyphy and a bit too aggressive, knowing how far ahead he is, and he could be collapsed on. Hivemind could take advantage if they see this.
Oh, Drips, fourth time lucky, gets his ult in, but gets cancelled by Surreal, and a wombo combo. He seals the deal, but it looks like Az is not even in the fight, and Rampage just gets out, gets slapped with Grim's ult. The Dekus ult is right in there, and Grux loses it. Looks like CK5 pops his ult as he comes, but he is low. I got a feeling Spitero is going to run in there and clean them up. That's 3 down right now. That is an inhib. Unless, of course, Topher and Lord Gurney do something, which I don't feel like they can do. They're low on health, they're low on mana, they're being forced back. Given that this inhib's down there, do you think that they can convert this game to a win right now? That's 3 down. 3 down this late in the game. That's 30 seconds.
I honestly think they definitely could have ended it right there, but they, as I said, they're very
safe.
They're very conservative. They're very safe. They like to play the game at their own pace.
which is
So
awesome.
they're just going to go for the try and play, and they're just going to make sure that they're guaranteed the win and not try and overstay their welcome and give up any kills.
Yeah, definitely agree. And I think that's a credit to these guys here, because generally in any games, if you're up ahead, you kind of just forget the objective and you kind of play a bit more riskier. Maybe try to go in YOLO solo people. But, commendable effort in terms of pulling it back, keeping grounded. On the flip side here, it looks like Hivemind, now they've been forced back, it'll be really hard for them given that obviously Rolls is up ahead not only in 6p, but they've got the new OP buff, meaning that they're pretty much a free heal if they just stop, get out of combat for 3 seconds. And Topher looks like he will be going down with our R2000 to the face. Espitero gets stunned in the face, and Crux pulls him in. My gosh, that save, that combo by Gideon. Gideon finally nails that beautiful stun, but it looks like the Monkey Chunks is being that meat shield to get his team out to safety. Lord Gurney gets another R2000 to the face. My gosh, these guys aren't getting any room to breathe. How can they... I just want to sing some songs from Rihanna. How can you tell me how do you breathe with no air? Like, come on! Poor Gideon, as he's getting rips, it looks like at this point in time, these guys will be spamming with the OP buff. I mean, it's 3 to 4% regen per second out of battle.
It is a lot of regen. It is a lot of regen.
Just watching Dripper's Jowl just right there, just taking R2000. These guys are just taking turns tag teaming to go back to base and heal. My gosh, that is rest in peace, Drips Jowl. You just got picked off. These guys, I'm just looking at Pranithi's mana. Like, he's on 27, and all of a sudden he just bursts people. That's just insane. It looks like this might be the final bout, Pal.
So that was a 4v5. CK was off in the off lane, in the left lane, trying to get that inhib, but we have another fight in the inhib.
This is a wombo combo, my gosh. Look at that. Oh. That is 4 people down, and it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, this potentially could be game over, and it is game over, and it looks like this would be a win towards Royals Gaming.